Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the CEO of Cool Edge Bits. He is changing the way oil and gas is drilled in America. His story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I love innovators and disruptors, and one such person is in my studio right now. It's Vasili Borissov. He is changing the way oil and gas is drilled in America, and it's with this device. Not exactly this. This is a plastic prototype, but it's called Cool Edge Bits. Vasili, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Great studio you have here.
Well, thank you. And I want you to explain what makes your drill bits better than anything else on the market.
Right, so a standard PDC bit kind of looks like this, and matter of fact, if you sit ours next down to anyone else and walk 20 yards away, you probably can't tell the difference. But my father is a world-renowned rocket scientist, and he kind of dipped his feet into the drilling arena, let's say, due to some of his friends that were drilling that knew kind of has the perfect set of skills to potentially look at conventional bit and see what can be better in the design. And he wanted to help his buddies out, so he started as a hobby, but very quickly got focused into looking at bits and kind of seeing what are the flaws. And so immediately he saw that the nozzle alignment or the thermal management is incorrect. And he, in analytical research and CFD studies, he kind of pinpointed that 70% of what's happening downhole when it has to do with performance of the bit, as well as longevity. Bit wear and tear has to do with the heat. So he said, oh, great, well, if that's 3/4 of the problem, let's attack that problem. So everyone else's bits kind of look like somewhat like this, but they have nozzles that are like these center nozzles that just go straight up and down to the bottom of the hole. Now, what's different in our bits is we also have many more nozzles than anyone else, and we have these directional nozzles. So the cutting is actually happening here at the cutting edge, cutting surface. So he couldn't understand, first of all, why there weren't enough nozzles and why they were pointing down to the bottom of the hole, right? All the nozzles, all the mud flow was coming through the pipe here and collecting down here and then getting clean back up. Now, the cleaning was good, but there was almost no focus on heat rejection. So he said, let's have a lot more nozzles and let's point them right to the cutting edge. This is where the action is actually happening, right? When the bit's turning, this is kind of the little ice cream scoop cut that's being picked up. And so by pointing our nozzles to the cutting edge, we are now drilling at about half the temperature as anyone else.
Oh my goodness.
In the game. So.
And that's a big problem, that drill bits will just overheat?
Oh yeah, well, there's pressure, there's heat, but some of the biggest issues in drilling operations is when bits don't perform, right? And so because of that, you have to then pull the bit out. You know, there's a lot that goes into that. And as far as time, it could take hours and hours, right? And if you're offshore, for example, an offshore rig operation is about $1 million a day.
Wow. So
think about if you spend 6 to 7 hours just getting the bit out the hole and putting another one in.
That's incredible.
Right. I mean, what's 25%, right? 6 hours of a day is 25% of a day. What's 25% of $1 million? I mean, that's $250,000 in one day that you wasted because this didn't perform.
We're going to pull up his website, and as we scroll down the website, I want you to talk about how the industry is reacting. When you get a chance to be in front of an oil and gas person, do they instantly get it?
Yeah, I think the drilling engineers and some of the superintendents and company men that are in the game, immediately they know that the biggest struggles come from the heat that's down hole. So when they see that we are addressing that issue aggressively, they light up, and they're very excited to try this new cool technology bit design. Actually, at the beginning of the website, if you look at the very top, you would see a little shout out to my dad, who's a rocket scientist. He's worked at NASA and other big companies, and
Sure.
so you see the little rocket there next to the drilling rig. But yeah, I mean, I think they immediately understand where we're coming from and are eager and excited to try our new bits.
Okay, we've got a little bit of video, and I want you to explain what we're seeing here. So as we roll
sir.
this, what are we looking at?
So here you'll see two deckhands basically putting our bit in the hole. They're attaching it to the motor, and bit's going in the hole, and then you have the process that begins after of getting the bit down, making sure all the nozzles, everything's washed out, then getting to the bottom of the hole and beginning the drilling. And so that was actually a special moment for us because we've been waiting for a while to get with a big tier 1 West Texas operator, and it finally happened in this past week. And so we're very excited in building that business relationship as well as others, all over North America, all over the world.
Do you see a day when this is just the standard for drilling?
I think so. I think our thermal management, our nozzle alignment is superior to anyone else. Now it is ours, right? So, it's protected with patents and legal and everything. But, we love to create new things, invent new things that help push the industry forward. So the standard will be everyone will be using Cool Edge bits, drill bits. That'll be the standard.
Outstanding. Well, you're also very philanthropic. We're going to put up your nonprofit page, and I want you to explain. It's called Peace, Hope, Freedom.
Yes. So basically, we focus on humanitarian relief. My wife is from Ukraine, and so I'm from Russia. I've been here 30 plus years, but when the war started, we always kind of send a little bit some money back home. But when the war started, we really kind of felt it on our hearts that we want to help in a bigger way. So we started this nonprofit, and we started basically just getting donations and sending there. And then the U4U program was started, by the previous administration. And we started just helping move families from Ukraine to Houston. And not just Ukraine. We've moved families from other parts of the world, even a couple from Russia, and just kind of helping them start their lives over. And we recently added a wing there where we focus on helping underserved communities, maybe underprivileged children, learn sports like tennis, which is where I come from, or golf, or other sports that they may not in other cases get to experience.
What's your favorite success story of a family you've helped?
One I can think of is someone that my wife was pretty close to, was her college roommate, and she kept trying in many different ways to get out of the country and make sure that her young husband and young child are safe and out, and just nothing was working. They kept dealing with people that were trying to trick them and get a bunch of money from them. So finally, we were kind of watching that, and we started what we're doing, and immediately we were able to actually, one of my tennis students who's a retired doctor who's got a big home and extra rooms in the home, and we kind of talked to him about being the sponsor, and he was for it, and him and his wife, we went through the whole process, the paperwork. We were able to bring the family, and it's really cool to see, because now, like 3 years later, the kids in the school and doing jiu-jitsu and thriving, and the mom's working, and the dad's driving trucks all over our great country, so wow. It's really cool to see that.
That's beautiful. We only have about a minute left, so why don't you talk to the oil and gas company that needs to adopt your drill bit, and they just don't know about it yet?
Yeah, look, I think any operator, any drilling company, service company out there that is looking to or has some space to R&D or try a new bit, right, new technology product, in which case we have, that is going to help you save time, save money, and is going to be superior in efficiency, that's us, right? And we're not just saying that. We don't just have paperwork and patents, and we're actually showing it in the field, right? Which I think is most important. For me to run a business, revenue is king, but in this particular business, data is right up there, because you can say anything you want, but if you can show a report that says, hey, here's our bit, here it is in the same application as X, whoever it is bit, and here it is doing better, people talk, numbers scream, right? So
I love it. Great way to end the show. We're also going to leave you with both websites. We'll first start with his CoolEdgeBits.com. peacehopefreedom.com website, and then we'll go to his nonprofit, which is peacehopefreedom.org. Vasili, thanks for coming on the show and sharing your heart and your wisdom with us.
Thank you so much.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.